Hello everybody, my name is Arturo, and I am a personal trainer. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my home. So, for all you Spanish speakers, me llamo Arturo. I'm a personal trainer. Yo hablo inglés. So, um, so topic of the day is, well, actually I got this question from a friend of mine who was asking me about how to make, they were asking for tips on their back and how to get it looking good for aesthetics and the back of the shoulder. So there's actually quite a few muscles in your back. So you gotta have some exercise that'll probably do more than one or whatever type of aesthetic you're going for. If you're trying to get really ripped like my back muscles are, that's pretty easy. Um, what I recommend you do is start with working out large muscle groups. So things like lat pull-downs, rows, where you're pulling, you're in a row. You can do things like that. They have those at gyms. Um, with rows, you'll be sitting down on both of those, but you can see with the row, it'll have your legs extended out and you're pulling it back like you're rowing a boat. And then everybody knows the lat pull-down. It's like the pull-up type one. And those are the two main ones for machines. And you also want to do like back extensions, which depending on which type of equipment you're using, it might have resistance weight to it, or you might have the one where you're just um, leaning over, like kind of like a bench, where you're leaning over, like kind of around your waist area, and then you're just pulling back, do an extension for your back. I prefer using those ones over the weighted ones. It just feels more comfortable. Like I don't have to keep adjusting the settings for the machine, but that's just personal preference. So other than that, you want to make sure that the rest of your front is also strong, so that way you're not overextending on your back and then stretching these muscles out until they tear. That's just the basis of muscle balance. So let's keep that in mind when you're doing that. Also, you can probably have like a resistance band. So they actually come quite in handy. You can do let's see, what are these things called? Usually when I'm writing plans, I just make the names up to make them more descriptive to people. Helps them remember better. You're kind of like, you start off at the center here, and then you're pulling it back to a full extension. It's hard to do it with this microphone in the way. Hopefully I can do it properly. So you want to have this at your shoulder height, full straight, full extension on your arms, straight ahead. The microphone's right in the way. So about here, start hands together, and pull it back. So you're all the way back. Okay. That's I guess you can call those reverse flies with resistance. So resisted reverse flies. Normal flying would just be like putting your hands together like you're flying, like your bird. They also have machines for that too. These ones are a bit more difficult than the machines because you have to worry about where your hands are. But I guess in that sense it's a lot easier because when you're on the machine, you're just adjusting the seat up and down, whereas like it might not be in the right area. So I guess this is for balance and all that. Also, you have your arm rotations where you can have a dumbbell with this too. I don't have one with me, so I'll just be using this. You can have this tied to something too if you'd have one of these. You can also, if you have a cable machine, you can set that to where it's your elbow is just at a 90-degree flex, and then you're pulling this sucker out at 90 degrees. and that's good for your rotator cuff and your trap. I think that's your trap. Is good for the shoulder area that my friend was talking about. That's getting behind the shoulder because that's where all the muscles are working to make that rotation happen. That's where all the tension's at. Those are good exercises for it. And depending on the type of aesthetic that you're going for, if you're trying to get ripped, I would say try to bulk up and keep it ripped at the same time. That's going to require, all these things that I showed you. That's why my back is big, but also ripped at the same time. The body, the lighter the weight, the more repetitions you do, the more tone you're going to get. So a lot of repetitive movement. So like if you could start with, this is actually this is ultra heavy. Okay, this is heavier than I thought. So this is the heaviest one, or strongest resistance that I got for these bands. Is you just pull it as far as you can, as many times as possible. Well, no, really not as far as you can. You don't want to overextend yourself. What was the word? You just want to do it as many times as possible because it would be a light weight that you'd want. You just want to be able to do what you can handle, not overexert yourself. I can't tell if these are new because I just bought these and their box was kind of open. I can't tell if these new or they have smoke smell on them. Anyway, and then someone maybe just replaced it. I just bought it for this video really, but I was gonna use them by my own too. Anyway, there's also the deltoid region right here. This is the deltoid. It's what kind of protrudes out from from the rest of your arm. So this is, you want to have your hands up really when you're doing these to keep your the hell is the word I'm looking for? You want to keep your hands up anyway. It's for a muscle balance thing because that's the way your elbow is meant to bend. Otherwise, you can have the tendon kind of moving out of place if your balance is off, and in other ways, like if you were to go and do a bench press, it'd be more. It's just kind of more antagonizing to it. That's not really what you want. Other than that, there's tons of exercises really that you can look up, and just not even, there's more than I can name off probably. And I just told you the ones that I was doing, and those work well for me because that's the kind of aesthetic that I'm going for. If you just want to have like huge lats, you want to do a lot of rows, okay, and then that's gonna get you can get that V shape right, but you also want to make sure that your rotator cuff is good because they kind of antagonize each other. One's pulling backwards, and that's kind of rotate your shoulders forward, and then but you also want to have the ability to do this motion, right? Because if you're pulling up, because if all you're doing is pulling back and down, that's what you're gonna be good at, right? So you want to be able to do those, pull your arms up too, so that we can maybe reach something on the shelf if you have to. So that's where your lats and rotator cuff comes in. So you'd be wanting to work with that. You'd want to have, like I said, the outer rotations. You can do inner rotations too, just for balance, depending on what you're doing. Say the outer rotations. It's the kind of push-ups where like your hands are kind of more forward of you and you're kind of like pointing downward. I guess that'd be incline push-ups. And you can also do incline bench press where we're pushing up, kind of like on a lean back, and you're pushing it more kind of towards the sky. Well, you're always pushing towards the sky, but more towards the top of your head rather than just away from you. Military press also comes into play there. That way you have the balance going on there. And then your upper traps here, you can do that with shrugs. And then the center trap, that's where these come in. The reverse flies. If you do those enough times, you'll start to see that start to be really defined there and really ripped looking. And you want to take care of your abs and your hips and your hip flexors and your butt cheeks, because it's really hard because it all plays into muscle balance. So it's like hard to tell you exactly like how to do it in just like a short video, you know. So yeah, your butt cheeks and your hip flexors work against each other. Your butt cheeks want to extend your legs out, but your hip flexors want to keep your legs in, like your knees to your chest. And then if your hips aren't like if it doesn't want to let it go, it's just gonna pull your hips backward. You kind of have like this I'm gonna walk with my butt out type thing. You know what I mean? Kind of have like a Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny butt going on, like it's always pointing backward, like a lot of girls want to do, I guess. But so you want to take care of that, but that's not having much to do with your back. It can, but like in this, if it's going to really put a lot of tension in your lower back. It's going to stretch your abdominals out, and this is really bad for you. I should really get back to the back. So yeah, that'll help take care of your back when you're working these out. So the lat pull-downs, that will also help with your V shape, along with doing your rows. Those are probably my favorite too for that type of aesthetic, because especially the lat pull-down works on a lot of your traps on the side here. Then it's also this is really good for that as well. So when you pull it down, you're kind of pulling it back too, so you're kind of doing like a row. And so it's just really good for that, all around your V shape altogether. But when that comes with it, you kind of want to make sure you're all balanced and all that. So I think I've told you pretty much everything I could. I think that's pretty much all I can tell you. There's also, before I go, there's 3 different exercises. I don't even know what to call this yet. And I found these when I found these exercises, they're all in Japanese, so I can't read Japanese, so I don't know exactly what it said. But I'll show you these 3. I guess I can call these Gokus because they kind of look like sort of like mystical, and the way it kind of feels like it too. It kind of feels like there's some sort of mystical, I guess. I don't know. You'll see when you see me do it, and when you start to do it yourself, you understand. So. Okay, so the first one. Make a pyramid with your hands. Push in. You'll feel it through pretty much through your whole torso if it's not used to being worked. And then down here by your crotch area. And I guess there's like a chakra system, and the bottom one is like right here. I forget what it's called. I think it's called the dantian. I don't know. Anyway, you'll be doing the same. You make that pyramid. Push in, and then above you, push in, and that would be where your crown chakra is what I guess what they call it. So that's really everything I got for you. So yeah, if you guys should try this out, and if it helps you out, come back here, let me know. If it didn't help you, come back here and let me know if it didn't. So that way I can give you guys better information. So thank you so much. Also think about subscribing so you can find my channel to leave those comments later. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.